Hello everyone, and welcome to the Barney and Clifford show. And as you can see, this fat ass here needs to die. Lip. And now, on to the episode. So, what were we sent here for? We were sent here to deal with a few people. Psychopathic Goofy, Terrorist Goofy, AJ, Kermit, and Crimson. So, what brings you guys here? We're mainly here to observe Kermit's power. And why would you tell me that? What do you mean? As you would know, well, you don't, I was trained by the original They Who Remains. And I trained AJ. And AJ trained Kermit. And as you can see, Kermit is currently looking for an apprentice. As for the cycle must continue. What do you even call your henchmen? What do you even call that? The League of Time. It's the main army that They Remains has, other than the variants. Other than the variants in the United Union, the main army itself is the League of Time. Which, yes, the Shadow King and Cody. Kind of like, same thing with me, but for the Shadow King was also trained by the original They Who Remains. Same time as I was. And the Shadow King ended up having Cody as his apprentice. And Cody actually has his own apprentice already. As that apprentice already has its own apprentice. And that apprentice is currently looking for its own apprentice. Wait, we don't even know who Cody's apprentices are? No. Nobody knows who Cody's apprentice is. Nobody even knows who the hell Cody trained. No one's been able to find him. Or her. But anyways, I think there's something that I might as well tell you about Memphis. And what would that be? You see, according to how time both is and was supposed to go, Memphis was actually never supposed to be evil. Wait, what? Yeah, Memphis was never supposed to be evil. Remember? He was the god. He was the god of love and peace. He was never supposed to become evil. That's why no one expected him to become evil when he did. What? Yeah. Memphis was always supposed to be the main good guy. But, as you may ask, what would that mean for They Who Remains? They Who Remains is still supposed to exist, just not intended to kill Memphis. But there was a god who was supposed to become evil, but never did. And who would that be? Creature, aka Chaos. Chaos was actually supposed to be the one to turn evil, but Memphis stopped it and became evil himself instead. Because a god was supposed to become evil, and Memphis became evil himself. Eventually, out of all the torment that the other gods have been giving him besides Creature. And after Memphis turned evil, the original They Who Remains was created in order to kill Memphis. Because the gods were already ahead of their plan. Their plan never happened, though. But they did attempt to do their plan. They Who Remains has fought Memphis before, and it failed miserably. How miserable was it? So miserable it destroyed 10 entire timelines. That's how big the battle was. It was so big, they had to fight in the beginning. There's big consequences for when gods fight each other, which is why we don't get to see the gods fight each other. The only way really to take out Memphis the only way to take out Memphis and They Who Remains is to have them take each other out. It's the only way. There's no other way. And AJ is your only key to They Who Remains, to the original They Who Remains. Wait, why not you? You're one of the direct children of They Who Remains. I am. But I'm not your ticket. Because that's not how it's supposed to go. AJ's your only ticket. And AJ doesn't care about most of you guys. What do you mean by most of us? There's only a few that AJ would care about. Kind of like similar to Mel the Melon Man. Who's Mel the Melon Man? Or shall I say Mel the Grand Melon Man? Well, he's the main character of the comic that the Human's been making called World War Melons, and yes, it is canon to the show, so you're gonna have to look at it for DeviantArt to see the comic. And Twitter, aka X, but we're still calling it Twitter. But why is AJ our only ticket to the original Day Who Remains? He's the only link. He's the only one out of any of us who has similar power to They Who Remains. And as it's been mentioned before, AJ has similar powers to the Spot from Spider-Man. But he's a cooler character than the Spot. Because it's the thing that makes him unique and special in this plushie franchise, in this plushie universe, and the animated universe of the entire Barney Clifford franchise. Why are you explaining this to us? Because I'm only telling you guys stuff that you were supposed to find out. The stuff that was not supposed to happen. Could you tell us anything that was supposed to happen? Like how Creature was supposed to turn bad? That I can't. You'll have to find out yourselves. How Creature, aka Chaos, was supposed to be bad. But he's actually supposed to be the bad guy. As he's the god of good and evil. Wait, Chaos is actually the god of good and evil? Yes. Remember, he created the God folder. He basically created the very concept of good and evil. Not literally, but kind of. And all I'm going to say to you about how Chaos was supposed to turn evil instead of and not Memphis was because Chaos was supposed to become corrupted, which would have made him evil. Chaos was supposed to become evil after War of the Gods. He was supposed to be the one causing War of the Gods, and not Memphis. Memphis wasn't even supposed to be involved in any war. Which means a lot of stuff that's happened was not supposed to. And yes, Clifford Nam, it was not even supposed to happen. Because Cliffords weren't even... Because Clifford's... Yes, Clifford's were supposed to exist, but not in the way that they do exist at all. They were supposed to be really different. Clifford's were actually intended to be created by... Clifford's were supposed to be created by chaos, but they were created by this good guy called Charles. So that's another time screw up. All that I am trying to do is I'm trying to fix the time screw ups. But people think that I'm a time conqueror, which I've had to conquer timelines in order to fix them. Because they weren't going to let me do it so peacefully. So, I just did it. So I just did it my way. I took the entire timeline, and I resetted it. Which I plan to do with this timeline. Wait, we thought your plan was to destroy this timeline. No. My plan is actually to reset this timeline. I plan to reset this timeline all the way back to before Memphis became evil. Wait, you can actually do that? Yes, I can. And the time is coming to where I have to. Otherwise, Memphis will destroy They Who Remains. And without They Who Remains, everybody's completely... Everyone would be completely screwed, because They Who Remains is the god of time. They Who Remains controls every timeline ever to exist. Then why was They Who Remains created after Memphis? She wasn't. She was actually the first one of all the gods. She's the oldest. She bypasses all the gods. All the other gods. She's the grand god. She's the god of time. Time is the most powerful thing ever. There is nothing more powerful than time itself. Without They Who Remains, time will stop and fall apart. And if that happens, literally everything in existence will die. We actually thought you were a villain. No, I'm actually not a villain. Are you just saying that to deny? No. I'm not a villain. Wait, then how are you the first Sonic EXE? As you know, I am the first Sonic EXE. And I am Sonic EXE. The first soul ever in this body. And I've had a lot of aliases over the years. Including some of the villains that Barney and Clifford ran into in some of the Barney and Clifford movies that came out back in 2021. Like Journey to Imagination Island and Journey to Burwell Island. The person they were fighting this entire time was me. They didn't even know about it. The person they were fighting this entire time was me. And I was dealing with some time violators. One of them including Barney Walker. I'm still looking for his dumb ass. Because Barney Walker and Barney Mason weren't supposed to exist. Wait, they're actually not supposed to exist? No. They're actually not. What about you and the Shadow King? We are supposed to exist. Time was entirely written by They Who Remains. The original They Who Remains has written everything that could, and will happen. They Who Remains knows what will happen next. They Who Remains knows that nobody can destroy them. Not even Memphis. They Who Remains can destroy anyone. Even Supersonic EXE. If they wanted to. They just don't. And never will. Because Supersonic EXE lives out there. And it's only because that Supersonic EXE is not dead yet. You already know who we refer to as the other human. We're not really going to explain it again for the millionth time. But anyways, in regards to so They Who Remains was the first ever god? Yes. The first ever They Who Remains variant was the first ever god. It is still true that all the other gods created themselves. They Who Remains also created themselves. Or shall I say, herself. Wait, the first ever god we ever had was a goddess? Yup. The first ever god was a goddess. Was a woman. Both mine and the Shadow King's mother. And as you would know, I've actually went face to face with the original Axel. That's how, before he died. And I made a promise to him. And that promise was that I'd train AJ. And I did. And I did that promise. And I made the cycle. And I made the cycle of the League of Time. My main goal, has been and always will be, in case if They Who Remains dies, somebody will take the mantle. That's why They Who Remains had kids in the first place. She knew somebody can actually kill her eventually. And if she dies and no one takes the mantle, we're all absolutely effed. Oh crap. Uh-oh. Oh no. And I know you guys have been planning to kill They Who Remains. Don't worry. I know too. What do you mean? Oh wait, yeah, you already explained it. But there is one more thing that I should say. And what would that be? Yeah. I am the reason why some of you guys exist that are not supposed to exist. I snuck into my own mother's room, grabbed the time thing, created certain people from that I arranged for certain people to exist. One of them including Roxanne. So Roxanne was never supposed to exist. Same with you three. So technically, I created you three. Wait, you created us three technically? Technically, yes. I did create you three. As all three of you weren't supposed to exist. How else did I arrange for you to create yourself and you two to be created as babies to Roxanne? I had to create Roxanne in order to create you two. In order to have someone create you two, because I couldn't create you two myself directly. Wait. But you're basically a soon-to-be controller of time, possibly, and you can't create people? No. I actually can't create people. I can only arrange for people's creation by editing my mother's list, by editing my mother's book, the God book, the Book of Time. I had to edit the Book of Time. I already edited sorry about that. A screw-up time. A lot of times. Sorry about the F-word bomb being dropped, but the human is not re-recording this episode again. And plus, it's only one swear, and YouTube doesn't really care when you do one swear. As long as it's not within the first 8 seconds. So yeah, we have nothing to really worry about there. Luckily. Believe me. If that wasn't the case, this channel would have already been probably full of strikes and probably would have gotten terminated, because the human has swore quite a bit of times in this channel already, especially with the newer movies. The human has had us swear. The human only tries to have us not swear in the Barney and Clifford show, which is this right now, what you're watching. As you know, the only reason why you three actually exist is because I edited my mother's book, the Book of Time. And you want to know something else? What? You want to know how the scenario cards ended up in the Clifford dimension? How? That was me. What? Yes, I stole the scenario cards from my own mother and hid them in the Clifford dimension, knowing that she wouldn't go there. Because if she did, it'd cause a lot of time screw-ups. Because no one's supposed to see her. No one's supposed to see the original Day Who Remains besides anyone within the League of Time and the variants. Or anyone that she wants people to see. But as you know, I'm the only one, other than my own mother, who has read the Book of Time. And I'm trying to fix a lot of the crap that got touched on, not by her, not by me, but another person. Wait, who would be this other person? Memphis. Wait, what? Memphis basically stole the Book of Time just a short while ago. And it's been screwing stuff up recently. That's how a lot of the time people have been getting into this timeline. Then how did you get in this timeline? I was sent here by my mother. I was ordered by my mother to come here, watch over this timeline. As the Shadow King, he was also sent here by my mother, by our mother. But he was sent here a longer time ago. He was sent here a long time ago. And he took over the classic dimension with the Marios. With assistance from the Marios and Giga Mario. And do you want to know how Giga Mario was created? Wait, You're actually going to tell us who created Giga Mario? Not in this episode, dumbass. Do this one taking forever. And Kermit, do your thing. Wait. What do you mean? Yoink! Wait, where did he go? I don't know. What do you expect? Yoink! Oh, yoink! Good. We didn't even get to do anything. Yeah. Yeah. We didn't get to do crap. But yet again, sorry about that F word drop. The human will most likely put... Well, not really, because this F-bomb is not going to affect the show. But before this episode ends, the human does... There is something that has to be said. And I'm going to say it really simple. Like, really simple and really quickly. The bug guys are coming soon. And you know what that means. Us plushies will be back in the shed soon. And the human does not know for how long. We'll be lucky if we're able to make the part 2 tomorrow to this story later today. But that's all I'm going to say about that. Now I'm going to let Clifford do the outro. Don't mind me before this episode ends of me being used yet again because I'm overused as F. Yeah, because I'm diagnosed with being overused because the human likes to use me so much. But anyways, Clifford, with the outro. Alright, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed this part 1. And yeah, the human should not have had the episode this long. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. And sorry about this episode being a lot of Crimson just talking. The human will eventually try to improve the storytelling, because it really needs to be improved. Just having that long-ass talk between Crimson and them. Yeah, the human obviously needs to improve the storytelling, because right now it's just... If you haven't noticed, it's just a long-ass time of just people talking and moving around. But it's mainly just people sitting around just talking, as the main person talking is just moving around. It's just kind of just moving a bit while being held by the human's hand. But yeah, the human really does need to improve, and the human probably will try to improve within the part 2 by, for one, probably having it shorter. Hopefully not longer, but it really depends. But either ways, be sure to like, subscribe to all that, and yes, bye.